The salt rot of the San Pedro docks clung to everything. The rusted steel, the oil-slicked pylons, and the massive shoulders of Rictus. He wasn't a pet. Rictus was 100 pounds of coiled tension, a black-furred insurance policy for illegal cargo. His mouth was a vice, his training absolute. His whole world was the space between his paws and the hand of Marius. Marius, his handler, was shivering, but not from the fog crawling in from the Pacific. Marius was staring at a manifest clipboard, his knuckles white. He'd taught Rictus every command: the silent stay, the vicious take, the life-saving stop. But tonight, Marius was considering a command he hadn't planned for.
Not tonight, boy. Not this shipment. This is where it stops.
Rictus felt the shift in his man's voice, the tremor beneath the usual authority. He didn't understand ethics or betrayal, only the smell of anxiety and the weight of the steel muzzle that Marius always kept secured to his gear. The truck rumbled onto the pier, its lights cutting harsh white lines through the haze. Behind it, a sleek black sedan pulled up. Out stepped Silas, the man who owned the docks, the cargo, and, in theory, Rictus. Silas wasn't a screamer, he was a surgical knife.
Silas, everything's ready for the transfer.
Silas ignored him, eyes locked on the cargo container. His gaze then shifted to Marius's clipboard, then to the dog.
You wrote the manifest, Marius. You know what's in that box, and you know who's supposed to get it. Now, why did you pull the fire alarm code an hour ago? Just checking the system, were you?
I don't know what you mean.
Rictus, good dog. Unmuzzle him, Marius. He looks cold.
The blood drained from Marius's face. Silas wasn't asking for compliance, he was demanding complicity. He was giving Marius the tool to kill his conscience or his friend. Marius's hand hovered over the clasp on the dog's snout.
No.
No? He's my asset, Marius. Unmuzzle. Now.
Rictus watched, waiting for the signal. He saw the cold rage ignite in Silas's eyes, and he saw the fear and the final broken resolve in Marius's.
Run, Rictus. Go.
The command was weak, unfamiliar. It carried no authority, only desperation. Rictus stayed rooted. He had only ever followed one order: protect the man with the scent of his own fear on his clothes. Silas drew a pistol, not aimed at the dog, but at the weak link.
You're fired, Marius. Permanently.
In that split second, the muzzle came off, but not by Marius's hand. Rictus snapped the leather strap himself, a wet, violent crack, and launched. He ignored the man who ordered him to run. He ignored the scent of the gun. He moved towards the source of the greatest threat to his world, the cold, smooth voice that had terrified his handler. Rictus didn't go for the gun. He didn't go for the throat. He went for the wrist, crushing the bones and sending the pistol spinning into the oily water. Silas screamed, a sound entirely lacking the measured calm of his usual voice. Marius dropped the clipboard. He didn't need a summary. The choice was made. Rictus stood over the writhing Silas, his black coat shimmering, silent and deadly, having followed the only true unspoken command he had ever known: keep him safe. The payoff wasn't a hero's reward. Rictus had saved his man, yes, but he had just bitten the hand that fed the entire operation. He was no longer an asset. He was a loose thread, a liability that had tasted blood and disobeyed the ultimate master. Marius knew the siren was already close, drawn by the fire alarm code he'd pulled. He grabbed Rictus by the collar. The dog, breathing hard, finally looked at him, his intense yellow eyes glowing in the truck's fading taillights. They walked away from the cargo, the chaos, and the life they'd shared towards the uncertain morning. The dog had traded the steel cage for an open road, but Rictus's greatest victory had just cost him everything he had been trained to be.